last decade, the team at B Lab has created innovative tools for assessing companies and built networks to encourage the growth of the movement. In addition to Danone, B Lab has grabbed the attention of multinational corporations such as Unilever, Procter & Gamble, Nestle, and Gap, as well as many of the most innovative companies founded in the last decade, including Kickstarter, Allbirds, Casper, and Bombas. In interacting with hundreds of executives at scores of social businesses like these, I have found that they are spearheading a social movement. They are interested in promoting not just their own business ideas, but the broader notion of creating businesses that are better for all stakeholders. B Lab has also crafted a legal innovation called the Benefit Corporation that places social benefits and the rights of workers, the community, and the environment on an equal footing with the financial interests of shareholders. Political figures on both sides of the party aisle have supported the passage of legislation that establishes benefit corporations in most U.S. states. This innovation is sweeping the globe. Similar legislation has been passed in Italy, Colombia, Ecuador, and the Canadian province of British Columbia, and is under discussion in many other countries. This book tracks the way all of these different pieces have come together to create an ongoing revolution. My interest in the movement was sparked in the spring of 2009, when I was teaching a course at HBS on how large companies such as IBM, Goldman Sachs, and Timberland could be strategic in their corporate social responsibility (CSR) programs. One day, a student commented that if we wanted to learn about true innovation in the area, we should not study the CSR programs of large companies, but examine how social values can be more fundamentally embedded in a company's DNA. Unclear on what she meant, I asked her to elaborate, and she described what a B Corp was and listed several certified B corporations that I knew well, including Method Home Products, King Arthur Flour, and the Boston-based social investment pioneer Trillium Asset Management. I was a bit embarrassed that I had never heard of B Corps until that day, so I spent some time researching the movement. The information I found online reeled me in, but I still wanted to know more. I got in touch with the founders of B Lab, and in 2010 I published the first in-depth case study of their work. Since then, my colleagues and I have researched and published more than 50 Harvard case studies on social innovation, increasingly focused on B corporations and the movement they are creating. My earliest accounts of B corporations were written before I had grasped the full breadth of the movement. In 2011, a student class project introduced me to Sweet Riot, an all-natural, women-owned chocolate company with innovative supplier practices that produces delicious nibs, small pieces of crushed cacao beans covered in chocolate. When I visited the company's headquarters in Greenwich Village to interview its leaders, I was surprised to see a B Corp certificate hanging on the wall. A year later, a research assistant's passion about Warby Parker's eyewear and its buy one, give one donation model convinced me that it was an important company to study. Again, a visit to its corporate headquarters revealed to me that Warby Parker was a certified B Corp. For reasons that I will describe later, it no longer is. Clearly, my millennial students and researchers were seeing a bigger picture that had not yet come into focus for me. The change I've witnessed over just a decade has been incredible. In 2009, just a handful of pioneering students knew about B Corps. Today, when I begin the first class of the course I teach on social entrepreneurship at Cornell, I ask my students to raise their hands if they've heard of the movement, and nearly everyone's hand shoots up. More important, however, is how deeply passionate they are about the project and how much they want to be involved. Every year since 2010, I've invited B Lab leaders to visit my classes and sponsored campus events to discuss their work. Disappointingly, the first such event attracted only a handful of students.